This reading is on guidance for home and children. So I'm using the Empress for our significator. Doing our shuffle here. The Empress is good for the significator because she is the maternal figure of the deck. Get one more shuffle in. And then we will cut 3 times and get started. All right, here we go. So this covers her. This crosses her. This crowns her. What is beneath her? This is behind her. This is before her. Herself, her house, her hopes and fears, what will come. Okay, so at first glance I'm looking at this and I'm noticing that there is a lot of fire energy. Fire energy moves fast. It likes to consume and go on to the next thing. Whenever I see a lot of fire energy, there's a lot of passion involved. There's also a little bit of a need to slow down. Fire, once it gets to a certain point, it likes to be contained and structured. If it gets outside of that, it can become a wildfire and just kind of burn down everything around it. So we just remember, structure around fire. Fire likes to be contained. It wants to be in the hearth. It doesn't want to be out and, being disastrous. Honestly, once fire gets to that point, it's kind of disastrous. So noticing that there's a lot of major arcana here, which is telling me that this is big life events. This isn't something small. This is not just a day-to-day matter. This is like part of your life path. Now I'm going to kind of touch on how in this video, I'm not going to cover everything that's in the channeled writing. Some of that is just for you. That's not for the whole world to know. And I believe that's what keeps it a little bit personal. Also, if I were to read exactly everything it said, I would just be mimicking it verbatim. So it would be kind of a boring video. But all that being said, I am going to get on to what these cards mean. So let's get into what these cards are. So our first card is what covers you, and that is the Six of Wands. So this is a card of like recognition and of being proud of yourself, and I think it's really like kind of highlighting how you want your kids to be proud of you, you want yourself to be proud of you, you want your family to be proud of you. Also, like this card though is showing someone that has become a leader and someone that has like sparked inspiration in others, and I'm really seeing that what kind of covered you in this situation was becoming someone that others would follow and becoming someone that people could look up to. We have what crowns you. So this is the sun, and you can kind of take it at face value. It is like having your glory day in the sun, feeling the sun on your skin, like all the perfect things that come with a nice sunny day. It's like there's no worries in the world. Everything is perfect. But what I'm really noticing here is how on this deck it's a woman. On a lot of decks it's like a baby riding a horse, but on this deck it's this woman, and I think that it's showing how our children kind of like gravitate towards us, and kind of once again just highlighting on how you want it to be, something that your kids could be proud of and something that they would want to be around and like light up their lives and light up their room kind of thing. This is what's beneath her, and this is kind of like the foundation around what started this or things that have already come to pass. And the Emperor is really the exact opposite counterpart of the Empress, which is who we used as a significator. So I'm kind of seeing like what really got this ball rolling was possibly the father of your kids, but also maybe just a male influence in your life that kind of encouraged your decisions. If not, it's literally just you falling into that masculine part of yourself, the part of you that is putting your house first, the part of you that wants structure and stability, the part of you that doesn't want to be impulsive, the part of you that wants to really just be steady and lead with a fair hand. This is what's behind her, and this is energies that have come to pass or are passing currently. This card did come out reversed, so this is Justice. And whenever I see Justice reverse, it's like, okay, there's some kind of corrupted energy going on. Now, be that done to you or by you, I'm not sure. That's kind of where you fall into place here. You know what happened. I'm going to be honest. I wanted to pull more cards on this, but I was like, no, because that's just me being nosy. I don't need to know this information to do the reading. But essentially, some kind of unfair outcome did happen. And if that was done to you, then I'm sorry. Sometimes we don't understand why things happen the way they do. Oftentimes though, it's because bigger forces are at play, making sure things go the way that they're supposed to, so that we are reacting to things we're supposed to be reacting to. One thing that I had said in the channeled writing was how Justice believes that everyone has a fair heart and knows that they are the product of their environment. And I really do feel like if it was something that was done to you, it was just so that you would take certain actions. Other than that, though, you know, that corrupt energy, it's come to pass, no longer part of your life. What's to come, and essentially this is like things that are either starting now and will be happening in the immediate future, or they're about to begin in the immediate future. This is one of our 2 future cards. So with it being reversed, I'm really kind of getting a feeling that like there's a lot of impulsiveness and really quick energy going on. Specifically, this card could mean like whenever it's upright, it could mean that you're about to get like messages. It's everything is fast with this card. The Knight is like the teenager of the suits, and this is the fire suit. So he's really he's plowing through things, and he doesn't have the foresight to see how that's going to go for him. So it often leads to frustration and stress. So a lot of this warning, or message, a lot of this message is just heeding a warning of to slow down, to take things slow, to think things through. That, you know, we don't want to be jumping through rings of fire just because we can. Like, we got to think slow and careful going here forward. The card for himself, or herself in this case. So this is like the attitude around what's going on. And in this case, I believe it is your attitude, since you are the significator, is the advice on like motherhood and your home life. What I'm seeing here, all right, upright, it's like this little girl. She's in this white dress. She has a white watering can, and white signifies trying to purify things. So like she's watering everything with pure intentions, and she's doing her best. But with it being reversed, it once again is just kind of pointing at that fast energy and possible poor choices. This card in reverse itself means like maybe unexpected expenses are going to come up. It's not really the best card, if I'm being honest. Whenever it's reversed, it's kind of scary in a money situation. Okay, so this card is in the spot for your house. So sometimes this is like your immediate environment. Sometimes it's more literal like that. Seeing as I don't think you're in the water, it's November, so probably not that. So it's telling me that it is like the influences, like the people in your ear, the media that you're watching. It's all the things that are kind of building and influencing your decisions. And really, the Ten of Cups, whenever it's reversed, is just saying that you feel alone and unhappy and possibly unfulfilled, and you're trying to change that. So that's really what influenced your decision, is because you wanted to have the perfect, happy family. So this isn't a bad thing, being in this spot. It's just saying that what is, kind of motivating you behind this and what's influencing you is to make sure that you're not alone without your children, not able to provide. You don't want them growing up in an emotionless house, stuff of that nature. So this is your hopes and fears, and this is the Hierophant. And the Hierophant is often viewed as the religious card. So on the Rider-Waite deck, it is a assumed priest. He's wearing like priestly robes, and he kind of looks like the Pope, you know what I mean? But that's not necessarily the only thing this card is about. While it is about organized religion, it's kind of about anything that's organized. It could be school, it could be your workplace, anywhere that people are filling their roles and falling into place and kind of working together for the greater good to get an accomplished goal, that everyone has agreed upon what's going on here. And as long as everybody's doing their things, everything's going to work out. So all that being said, in addition, this is number 6 in the major arcana, and 6 is like the hive mind number. So it's like everything's working together for the greater good. Moving on. So on this deck specifically, we see this owl, and it's teaching this little girl, and I can't help but notice a lot of things in this reading, like the school of fish here. There's also this bird here on her eye. There's just so much pointing to birds, and birds are messengers from above. So what I'm kind of seeing here is that your hopes are that you're going to be this leader for your household, that, specifically for your children. Maybe you can teach them how to be spiritual. Maybe you can teach them how to be a proper grown-up, how to work, how to provide for themselves. All the things that we really hope for our kids is in this card. So I'm seeing a lot of that, just that's what your hope is, and also that's what your fear is, that you're not going to be able to provide that. Whenever I see this card in reverse, though, sometimes I'm like, there's religious trauma going on. If you're scared of religion, it's because you've been exposed to bad religion. I mean, I don't know. Is there a good religion? I'm not really sure. I think all of them get a little corrupt once they get so world spread. But I'm seeing a lot of just fear around not being able to give your kids just the life that I think you believe they will come out successful in. And as long as the advice cards are taken to just kind of slow down and not make impulsive decisions, then we will be able to be that person for your kids and for yourself as well. We are at the what's to come card. Okay, so this card also flips. If the advice is taken, we flip upright. So upright, this card is someone that is manifesting and their dreams are coming true and they have all these choices in front of them and they can pick whatever they want. They're not really being forced and backed into corners anymore. Whenever it is reversed, it's like maybe you're living in a dream world. Things are not what they seem. You're kind of up in your head a little too much. It's like living in a fantasy land, essentially. And what I'm seeing here is that if the decisions aren't thoroughly thought through, that I believe you might make one that you think is going to work out, but it's just not gonna. It's not realistic. And I believe that you can single these choices out by just sitting down and really thinking about what you're doing. Whenever you go to make a decision, sleep on it. Don't make any decisions immediately. There's very few things we actually have to pounce on right that second. Oftentimes we have time to think and reflect. And I did give you advice in the channeled writing that's a little further and more personal from the YouTube, but this can flip upright to where you are manifesting your dream life so long as you are not being impulsive. Okay, so I don't want you to be scared. I tried to highlight that in the writing, that I definitely am not trying to invoke fear. None of this turns out bad. Even if you make hasty decisions, it's not the end of the world. But I believe that all of this can be avoided with just slowing down a little bit.